Pull out your phone. I'm serious, do it. Open up your calendar and count how many things are on it for tomorrow and write that number down. Now ask yourself, if you could do only 3 things tomorrow, if everything else would destroy your company, what 3 things would you choose? Are they even on your calendar? If they are, circle them. Everything else, that's what's murdering your success. Let me take you back to where I learned this. 5 a.m. A diner with cracked vinyl seats, eggs over easy, coffee that could strip paint. And across from me sat a billionaire. And he was about to teach me why most companies die broke and a few companies die with billions, live with billions. Show me your calendar, he said. I pulled out my phone, color-coded chaos, back-to-back meetings, and proudly showed him 31 meetings in a single day. Man, I was busy. 31. And he shook his head, and he said, that's not a calendar. That's a confession. A confession that you have no idea what matters. And then he showed me his calendar. 3 things for a billionaire's entire day. You see, poor people add, rich people multiply, and billionaires subtract. But I was too smart for simplicity. I was too ambitious for elimination. I was too addicted to addition. You see, I have bipolar disorder. During hypomanic episodes, my brain operates like a supercomputer on steroids. I see patterns that other people miss. I work 20-hour days and I transform dying companies. But I also destroy myself in the process. I was drinking a liter of alcohol every night, 2 pots of coffee every day, and I was taking 30-second naps at every single red light. Every morning, I would fight off suicidal ideation. My liver was screaming, my heart was racing, and my brain was composing symphonies of destruction. At any given time, I was simultaneously the most productive and the most self-destructive person in every room. For 15 years, I used an undiagnosed mental illness to build a career that probably should have killed me. The diagnosis was bipolar 2. And these pills, they changed everything. The medication changed everything. Suddenly my 20-hour days became 8. My grandiose thinking vanished. I felt ordinary. I went from Tony Stark to Tony Stagnant. I started to suck. The medication had taken away my edge. I lost the one thing that I could always count on. Success. Success for sanity? That wasn't fair. So I hacked my brain and I weaponized my wiring. It forced me to decode what I call the hypomanic operational turnaround system, the HOT system, which I had been subconsciously using to turn around failing businesses for years and generate hundreds of millions of dollars in value. Once my eyes were clear of the 20-year drunken haze, I realized that everyone around me had been using a different type of comfort crutch at work. I finally saw how people had been using comfort, meetings, processes, being needed to avoid reality. And just like every dying company I had ever saved, meeting mania made me feel mighty. Busy meant brilliant. Complexity meant crucial and necessary. After getting fired, after hitting rock bottom with alcohol, after almost losing my marriage, and after finally getting diagnosed and medicated, I discovered something that would generate hundreds of millions and more in value. These patterns destroying me personally were the exact patterns that were killing the companies that I was hired to save. So I created what I call the 5 a.m. funeral system. Every morning before the world wakes up, I conduct 3 funerals. At 5 a.m., I murder one meeting. $400 billion. That's what Americans burn annually on unproductive meetings. We could buy Norway with what we waste in conference rooms. At one company, I killed 80% of recurring meetings in 1 week. Long-term revenue increased by 40%. Decisions accelerated 300%. Meetings are not collaboration, they're corporate cocaine, and every calendar invite is like a hit of importance. At 5:30, I slaughter one sacred cow. These are the products that everyone knows we need, that we can't touch. In plastic manufacturing, everyone knew we needed a full product line, right? We cut 80% of products. We focused on the 20% that made money, and we told customers, this is what we make. Take it or leave it. Some left, most didn't. Revenue went way up. At 6 a.m., I delete one assumption. At ITW, I was hired to save a failing product line, a grocery store scale. During a cost-cutting exercise, we found a feature that everyone ignored, an enhanced load cell that cost just $15 more. What's this do? I asked, thinking I was about to save $15 cutting a feature or cutting a product. It measures meat more precisely, the engineer shrugged. Out to a third decimal. Those extra decimals meant that stores could price pennies higher per transaction. Those pennies dropped straight to profit. Same product, same feature, different eyes. I repackaged that hidden value into fleet deals, and we went from selling reactive $2,000 scales to proactive $2 million full fleet replacements. Everyone else saw a feature, and I saw a funeral for our old business model. Your biggest competition isn't Amazon, it's your addiction to yesterday. Comfort is the serial killer of companies. The average S&P 500 company lifespan has crashed from 61 years to just 18. Not from scandal, from stagnation. Let me read you something. Close your eyes. This is your company's obituary. Your company died waiting for perfect information and perfect timing when it could have been bold and courageous. It suffered from bureaucratic bloat. It was paralyzed by the need for consensus, and it spent its final moments surrounded by dusty mission statements and unused innovation labs. It suffered from chronic consensus, acute analysis paralysis, and terminal meeting disorder. It is survived by 1,300 committees, 48,000 meetings, 5,000 employees who knew exactly what was wrong but were too comfortable to speak up, and 10,000 other employees who were too scared to change course. The company will be fondly remembered as someone who stood still while others kept moving. Its final words were, "That's not how we do things here." In lieu of flowers, please send your resumes to the 26-year-old who just destroyed your entire industry from their garage. If that makes you uncomfortable, good. Because right now, while you're planning your next meeting, that 26-year-old is planning your funeral. Here's what hundreds of millions of dollars in transformations taught me. Psychological safety. It's where performance goes to die. We don't need safety. We need strategic stress. The Navy SEALs don't create warriors through comfort. They create them through shared suffering. Consensus, that's corporate cowardice. Steve Jobs didn't seek consensus. He created reality. The Roman Empire wasn't built by committee. Neither was any empire that ever mattered. Meetings, they're metastatic cancer. 11 million multiply through American offices every day. Tumors of time, vampires of value. Right now, I want everyone to think about one thing in your company that everyone complains about but no one questions. Turn to the person next to you and share it. You have 30 seconds. Go. How many of you just realized that your entire company might be built on lies? That is the power of conducting funerals. After implementing the 5 a.m. funeral system, here's what happens. I bought a dying company for a few $1,000,000. Every morning, I conducted 3 funerals, killed complexity, slaughtered sacred cows, deleted assumptions. 3 years later, I sold that company for twice my investment, doubled my investment by doing half the work. Less literally created more. Subtraction spawned success. Elimination earned equity. So here's your homework. Text yourself right now. Subject line, tomorrow's funerals. And type 3 things. 1 meeting you're going to kill. 1 sacred cow you're going to slaughter. 1 assumption you're going to delete. Now add this. If I don't eliminate these by noon tomorrow, I'm choosing death over dollars. The medication I take for bipolar disorder changed everything. My 20-hour days became 8. My grandiose vision vanished. I went from Tony Stark to Tony Stagnant, but it forced me to systematize what I had been doing intuitively, to weaponize my wiring, to turn mental illness into a business methodology that anybody can use. Comfort smells like conference room coffee. It sounds like we've always done it this way. It tastes like yesterday's success, but it feels like a warm blanket on a burning building. Your company is dying. The question is, are you the disease or are you the cure? You need warriors, not committees, because committees write obituaries and warriors delete them. Your company is drunk on comfort. Tomorrow morning at 5 a.m., you have a choice. Attend more meetings or conduct more funerals. Add more complexity or subtract more assumptions. Seek more consensus or create more decisions. Are you ready to conduct your first funeral tomorrow? These are the killers. These are the eliminators. The future billionaires are the ones who are saying yes. Your competition is not. While they add, you're going to eliminate. While they meet, you're going to move. While they debate, you are going to delete. Sometimes the most valuable thing that you can do for something you love is kill what's killing it. Your company's obituary has already been written. Now go delete it before it deletes you. The funeral starts at 5 a.m. Don't be late for your own resurrection.